The flash doesn't just kill the grid, it kills the light, the search bar, the cloud, the tiny glowing screen that told you where everything was. Your house becomes a dark museum of objects you can no longer find, and the things you need to survive are suddenly invisible. Not gone, hiding. Buried in drawers that used to open under a ceiling light, stored in folders that lived inside a phone that's now a black mirror. Most people will spend the first night of an EMP tearing their own home apart, screaming at the dark, while the four things they desperately need sit 2 feet away in perfect silence. You will reach out and touch them with your eyes closed because you mapped this blackout months ago. Subscribe so you never miss this. Stay for number 4, the one you are holding all the time, and the EMP will make it worthless unless you do one simple thing before the pulse hits. The systemic lie is that an EMP only destroys electronics. It destroys your organization, your external memory, your visual access to the small, critical objects that modern life kept sorted with screens and light bulbs. Before the event, you relied on a phone to store your contacts. You relied on overhead lights to find your car keys. You relied on a searchable digital archive to access your insurance documents, your medical records, your bank statements. When the pulse wipes all of it, these things don't vanish from the earth. They vanish from your reach. They become invisible because the system that indexed them for you is dead. Number 1. Your spare keys. The car key, the house key, the house key, the padlock key for the generator shed, the tiny metal tongue that opens the gate to the water cistern. In normal life, they live in a dish by the door, and you grab them by sight. In the permanent blackout after an EMP, that dish becomes a black hole. One wrong sweep of your hand, and the generator key hits the tile, skips into a vent, and you are locked out of your own power supply forever. Keys are small, metallic, unlit, and identical to the touch when you are panicking. Most people will fumble a key ring in the dark and lose the most critical key on the chain because they never memorized its shape. You will do 2 things now. First, color code your keys with a system you can feel: a file notch on the generator key, a rubber sleeve on the house key, a piece of grip tape on the water key. Second, you will mount them on a fixed board, in a fixed order, above a small shelf with a raised lip, a physical key station that never moves, never changes, and can be accessed by touch alone. The key that starts your escape vehicle is a single point of failure. Duplicate it, give a copy to every adult in the group, the original lives on the board, the spare lives in a lanyard around your neck. In the dark, a key is not a tool, it is a treasure that must be physically tethered to your body. Number 2. Your critical phone numbers and addresses. Your phone is dead, not low battery, dead silicon. Every contact you have ever saved, every address, every phone number, every email login is a puff of electrons that no longer exists. You cannot call your mother. You cannot call the doctor. You cannot radio the ham operator 2 counties over because you never memorized his frequency and call sign. You cannot drive to your brother's house because you don't actually know his address. The GPS always knew it for you. Most people will be stranded in a world where they know no one's phone number except their own childhood landline. You will have a paper notebook, a physical, spiral-bound, pen and ink address book with every critical contact, every frequency, every address, every rally point, every medical prescription number, every account number for every institution that might still exist. The notebook lives in a Faraday bag alongside a small LED headlamp, a pair of reading glasses, and a pen. It is your analog brain. Your phone was an extension of your memory. That extension just got amputated. The notebook is the prosthetic. Build it tonight. Number 3. Your spare batteries and their charge state. The drawer in the junk room has 40 batteries rolling around loose. AAA, 9 volt. Some are fresh, some are half dead, some are corroded relics from a remote control you threw away in 2008. In normal times, you can pop them into a device and see if it turns on. After an EMP, every battery-powered device is dead until you test it, but you have no working device to test with because the pulse fried the circuits. So you are throwing batteries into a dead radio, a dead flashlight, a dead thermometer, and guessing. Most people will toss fully charged batteries into the trash and load a corrosion-leaking alkaline into their last working device, destroying the contacts. You will store all batteries in a dedicated compartmentalized organizer with a physical charge tester glued to the lid. An analog battery tester, a simple needle gauge on a plastic brick that requires no power, draws no current, and laughs at an EMP. Every battery before it enters storage gets tested and labeled. Sharpie on the side, label every battery 92%, dead, full. When the lights go out, you open the organizer and you can feel the labels. You know exactly where the charged AAAs are, because you labeled the row. Batteries in a dark drawer are invisible energy. Batteries in a labeled case with a mechanical tester are a reserve currency. Number 4. Your physical cash and small valuables. The wallet in your pocket. The emergency cash in the safe, the silver coins, the gold ring, the USB drive with the encrypted backup of your identity documents. After an EMP, any digital record of your money is gone. The ATM is a brick. The credit card terminal is a dark screen. Cash is briefly king, but cash is briefly king, but cash is paper. Paper burns, tears, gets wet, and in the panic, you will fumble a stack of bills into a puddle or a pile of kindling. The gold coin you bought for barter is a tiny heavy disc that will fall out of a torn pocket and vanish into mud. Most people will lose their physical wealth in the first week because they never assigned it a dedicated, padded, waterproof, high visibility, tethered container. You will. A bright orange dry bag with a neck lanyard. Inside, a Ziploc of cash, a Ziploc of cash, a Ziploc of coins, a copy of your driver's license, your passport, your insurance card, your medical directives printed on waterproof paper. The bag is small enough to wear under a shirt. It glows in the dark if you got the reflective trim. You can find it by feel, in a blackout, in a collapsed room. The cash inside it will either buy you passage or become worthless paper. But if it becomes worthless, you still have the documents that prove who you are when the government rebuilds. Physical value in a world without digital verification is worthless if you can't find it. The orange bag is a lighthouse for your thumb and forefinger. Here is the reality. The electronics manufacturers and the prepper gadget ads will never tell you the EMP does not steal your stuff. It steals the light, the screen, the search function, the cloud, the beep of the Find My Phone app. It steals the infrastructure of location. The things you need to survive are still in your house. They are in a drawer, on a shelf, in a bag, under a blanket. But in the absolute dark of a permanent brownout, with a brain that is exhausted, terrified, and chemically flooded with cortisol, your ability to find a specific small object drops to near zero. The keys, the numbers, the batteries, the valuables become invisible because the visual system that located them for you is gone. You will build an analog, tactile, labeled, tethered system. Now, you will be able to walk through your home with your eyes closed and touch every single survival critical object because you placed it in a fixed, memorized location. The EMP is a thief of sight. The prepared mind is a map that works in the dark. Now, drop a comment and tell me this. Walk into your bedroom. Close your eyes. Try to find your car keys with your hands only. How long did it take? Write the number of seconds in the comments. Then go build your keyboard. And in the next video, we are building the Faraday cage that protects the one device you absolutely must keep alive. A cheap, simple shielding container that stops an EMP from frying the phone that still has your offline maps, your medical PDFs, and the photos of your children. I'll see you there.